Have you ever had that feeling, that persistent sense that you want something more, maybe better relationships or new opportunities, just a deeper sense of meaning, but you find yourself stuck in the same old loops? Or maybe you look around and see some people who just seem to navigate things so easily, while others, just as smart, seem, well, stuck.
It's that feeling, right? That disconnect between what you aspire to and what's actually happening day to day. So today we're doing a deep dive into something that really bridges that gap. We're calling it Attracting Better Starts Within, the power of subconscious reprogramming. This whole deep dive is about getting under the hood, really understanding how our internal world isn't just reacting to stuff outside. It's actually the architect, the blueprint for our whole experience. Our mission today is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most powerful, most actionable insights from all the research we've looked at on this. We want to give you a clear path to understanding the science behind it, the key ideas, and the practical steps you can take for real self-transformation.
We're going to explore how genuine, lasting change really does start inside you by reshaping those subconscious patterns to actually change your external reality. And here's where it gets really interesting. What if, like the vast majority of your daily choices, your gut reactions, even what you feel capable of doing, what if that's all running on autopilot, driven by programs you might not even know are there? We're talking a huge chunk of your life run by this silent co-pilot. So how much is actually you consciously driving and what's humming along beneath the surface? Let's unpack that.
It's a fascinating starting point. And this idea that real change kicks off internally. It's not just, some nice philosophical thought. It's actually got solid backing from neuroscience. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it really suggests that understanding and then actively reshaping your subconscious patterns.
Well, that's not just one way to transform things. It's pretty much the foundational path. It's the way you alter your external reality at its core. It's the blueprint, like you said.
The blueprint, I like that. So what does the science actually say? You mentioned neuroscience backing it up.
Right. So when you dig into the research, neuroscience findings suggest that roughly, get this, 95% of our behaviors, our emotions, our decisions, they're actually controlled by the subconscious mind.
95%?
Seriously. Think about what that means, 95. It's not just a number. It explains so much, like why sheer willpower often just doesn't cut it for big changes.
Wow, okay. If that much is on autopilot, then where do these patterns even come from? How do they get set? Good question. They develop through a mix of things. Early childhood experiences, definitely. Social conditioning, what we pick up from our family, culture, environment, and also just the sheer repetition of our own thoughts and reactions over years and years. They basically become our default settings, our internal operating system.
That 95% figure is genuinely startling. It almost makes it feel like our conscious mind is just, paddling against this huge subconscious current. So if these deep patterns are running the show, how on earth do we start to change them? Sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is powerful, absolutely. But here's the flip side. Understanding it is also incredibly empowering because the research also shows that through deliberate reprogramming methods, you can actually physically create new neural pathways in your brain. These new pathways, once they're reinforced, they become the brain's new structure supporting the outcomes you actually want. So for you listening, getting why this percentage matters is key. It means lasting change isn't about just wishing harder or using more willpower against the current. It's about intentionally going in and rewiring that internal blueprint at the source.
Okay, rewiring the blueprint. So once we accept, all right, 95% is subconscious, how do we actually start steering that ship? Are there some core principles, like an inner compass, to guide this transformation?
Absolutely. There are definitely key principles that act exactly like that, an inner compass. The first one, and maybe the most perspective shifting, is this: becoming better attracts better. And this isn't just a nice saying. It means that as you genuinely commit to your own growth, learning new things, developing healthier mindsets, acting with more integrity, whatever it is for you, you sort of create this different energetic field around yourself. And this field then naturally starts drawing in opportunities, people, experiences that are actually aligned with that improved higher level you're operating from.
That phrase, attracting better, can sometimes sound a bit mystical or maybe like wishful thinking. How is this different? What makes it practical?
That's a really important distinction to make. While it might sound a bit like law of attraction vibes, the real engine here is much more grounded. As you become better, more self-aware, more skilled, more emotionally regulated, your internal processing gets more efficient. Your bias for action shifts. You literally start to notice opportunities that your old self would have missed. You're primed differently. So it's not that things just magically appear, it's that your refined internal state changes your perception and your readiness. You can recognize and engage with possibilities that were maybe always there, but just invisible to your old programming.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's about changing your internal receiver so you pick up different signals. So building on that, the second principle you mentioned is about how subconscious programming shapes reality.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that a bit more?
Yeah.
How do these invisible frameworks dictate what we actually experience?
Yeah, think of your subconscious mind as this incredibly complex filter. It's pre-programmed based on all those past experiences and beliefs we talked about, and it filters how you perceive everything and how you interact with the world. It's basically the operating system running your reality processing.
Yeah.
So a really key insight here is that the differences you see in people's outcomes, why some thrive and others struggle, often boils down directly to these invisible mental frameworks, these deep subconscious programs. It's less about external factors or pure luck, and much more about the internal programming dictating what you even see as possible, what you go after, and crucially, how you react to whatever life throws at you. It's the lens.
Right, the lens. So it's not just what happens, but how our subconscious is set up to interpret and then react to what happens, which leads perfectly into the third principle, which I find really empowering. Curiosity leads to self-discovery. How does just being curious help us dig into this deep internal stuff?
Curiosity is everything here. Developing genuine, non-judgmental curiosity about your own patterns, your knee-jerk reactions, your ingrained beliefs, that is the absolute doorway to transformation. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about putting on your detective hat for your own inner world, asking, why do I always feel anxious in this situation? Or what's the belief underneath that automatic negative thought? That investigative mindset lets you uncover the roots of limiting behaviors. Without that curious look inward, you're kind of just stuck repeating cycles, totally unaware of the program running them.
The detective hat, I like that. Okay, so curiosity helps us find the roots. Then what?
Yeah.
How do we actually do the healing and reprogramming process? It sounds like quite a journey.
It is. It's a profound journey, and it generally involves 3 really essential link steps. First, you've got to address healing past wounds. This means really acknowledging and finding ways to release old hurts, maybe traumas, emotional baggage that's still lingering and holding you back, often subtly. You can't build a strong new house on a shaky foundation, right?
Makes sense. Clear out the old rubble first.
Exactly. Then second, you need to actively unlearn outdated beliefs. These are the stories, the assumptions, the rules you live by that maybe served you once, maybe protected you in the past, but now they just don't fit where you want to go. You got to identify them and consciously decide to let them go, which isn't always easy, but it's crucial.
Okay, healing the past, letting go of old beliefs. What's the third step?
The third is the really proactive part, consciously installing new, empowering thought patterns. This is where you deliberately choose, cultivate, and repeat beliefs and ways of thinking that actively support your highest potential, your goals, your well-being. You're effectively overriding the old and reprogramming your subconscious with the future you actually intend to create.
So it's like clearing the weeds, tilling the soil, and then intentionally planting the seeds you actually want to grow. That's a powerful sequence. But let's get practical. How do we do this? Like tomorrow morning, what are some actual tools someone can start using?
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road. Moving from theory to practice. Let's talk tools for the toolkit. A really great place to start is a simple morning reflection practice. Seriously, just commit 10 minutes each morning, grab a journal or even just a piece of paper and write down thoughts, feelings, reactions that bubble up. The goal isn't deep analysis right away, it's just observation. Look for patterns. Oh, there's that worry again. I always react defensively when X happens. It builds that crucial awareness muscle. I remember when I first started doing this, I was shocked how often one specific limiting thought about a project just kept popping up. Seeing it on paper was a total game changer.
Just 10 minutes. That sounds doable. It's like a little daily check-in with your subconscious.
Okay.
Okay, what else? What about when we catch those negative thoughts in the moment?
Perfect timing for affirmation reframing. When you actually catch yourself in negative self-talk, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, whatever your flavor is, make a conscious choice. Right then. Stop the thought and immediately create a positive present tense affirmation to counter it. So I'm not capable becomes I am resourceful and learning. I am becoming more capable every day. And here's the key. Repeat it daily. Not just as a wish, but as a command to your brain, reinforcing those new neural pathways we talked about. It takes consistent repetition to make it stick.
Right, it's like carving a new groove. It takes effort. Now, what about people who are more visual or find it hard to just think their way into new feelings?
Excellent point. For them, visualization exercises can be incredibly powerful. Set aside some quiet time, close your eyes, and vividly imagine yourself already embodying the qualities you desire or having achieved the goal you're working towards. Don't just see it like a movie, feel it. What does it feel like in your body? What sounds are around you? Make it as real and sensory as possible. This kind of immersive practice primes your subconscious. It's like telling it, this is where we're going. This is what feels normal now. It makes taking the actual steps in reality feel much more natural. You're basically rehearsing success.
Mental rehearsal.
Yeah.
Got it. But, we all slip up. What about those moments when an old, unhelpful reaction just takes over before we even realize it?
Absolutely happens. And that's where pattern interruption is pure gold. The moment you notice, an awareness is key here, that familiar, unhelpful reaction starting up. Maybe it's frustration, maybe procrastination, maybe snapping at someone. Pause. Just pause. Take one deep breath. That tiny pause creates a space. It breaks the automatic chain reaction. And in that space, consciously choose a different response. Even if it's just deciding not to say the usual thing or taking another breath instead of reacting, that conscious choice, that interruption starts to weaken the old pathway.
Like hitting the brakes on autopilot for just a second. And I guess our surroundings can help too, right? Keep us on track.
Yeah, definitely. Don't underestimate environmental cues. This is simple but surprisingly effective. Place little visual reminders around you, in your workspace, on your bathroom mirror, wherever you'll see them often. These could be inspiring quotes, maybe a symbol that represents your goal, even just a sticky note with your main affirmation. These cues act like little anchors throughout the day. They gently nudge your awareness back to your reprogramming goals, promoting mindfulness and reinforcing the new patterns you're building. Your environment can absolutely be a supportive partner in this.
These are great, really tangible tools people can actually use. But listening to this, it sounds like a pretty significant process, not exactly a weekend workshop fix. How long does this stuff actually take? What's a realistic timeline for seeing real, lasting change?
Yeah, managing expectations here is so important. It prevents people from giving up too soon. Based on the work we've looked at, there's a kind of roadmap, generally unfolding in 4 phases. The first phase is awareness. This usually takes about, say, 1 to 3 months of consistent effort. This is when you really start seeing the patterns clearly, noticing the autopilot, becoming much more conscious of your thoughts and reactions day to day.
Okay, 1 to 3 months, just to get truly aware. The observation phase. What's next?
Phase 2 is often the trickiest, resistance. This can last anywhere from 2 to 6 months, sometimes longer. This is where your old programming really digs its heels in. Remember, its job was partly to keep things stable and predictable, so as you push for change, you'll likely feel discomfort, internal friction, maybe doubt creeps in, you might even have setbacks. It feels tough, but it's actually a sign that deep change is happening. Your system is fighting the unfamiliar.
So the resistance isn't necessarily a sign you're failing, it's more like a sign the rewiring is actually underway.
Exactly. It's like your subconscious saying, whoa, hold on, this is different. Are you sure about this? It's a protective mechanism, even if it feels limiting now.
Okay, that's a helpful reframe. So if you push through resistance,
You move into integration. This typically happens somewhere around the 6 to 12-month mark. Here, those new patterns you've been consciously practicing start to feel more natural, more like you. It requires less constant, effortful attention to maintain them. The new way of thinking or reacting begins to embed itself. It feels less like work and more like your new default.
getting easier. And then the final stage,
Yeah.
where it really sticks.
Yes. Phase 4 is embodiment. This can take, realistically, maybe 1 to 3 years of consistent practice and integration. Here, the new ways of being, thinking, feeling, acting become truly automatic. They're not something you do anymore. They're simply who you are. They're deeply ingrained. And the really amazing part, your external reality, your circumstances, the opportunities, the relationships, they naturally start to shift and align with this new internal state. But the key takeaway is, it's a process, an unfolding journey, not instant magic. Knowing these stages helps you stay patient and trust the process.
That timeline is incredibly useful. It sets realistic expectations. 1 to 3 years for full embodiment that really underscores that this is deep work. But even with a roadmap, there are bound to be challenges. What are some common roadblocks people hit, and crucially, how do we get past them?
Oh, definitely roadblocks. One of the biggest, especially today, is impatience and expectation. We live in an instant gratification world, right? So many people start this work, don't see massive changes in a week or a month, and they just give up. They expect it to be faster.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening.
The solution really comes back to understanding that neurological change, rewiring your brain, it just takes consistent practice over time. It's biology. So the key is to consciously shift your focus. Focus less on the big final outcome and more on the process. Celebrate the small wins. Acknowledge your effort today. Trust that those small steps compound over time.
Focus on the journey, not just the destination.
Got it. What about external bumps? Like, what if people around us aren't thrilled with the new you?
That's a very real challenge. We can call it environmental resistance. As you change, as you grow, maybe set new boundaries or have different priorities, you might encounter pushback from people who are comfortable with your old patterns. Your change might make them uncomfortable or challenge the dynamic they were used to. It's normal, unfortunately.
So what do? Shrink back down? No, definitely not. The way through is usually twofold. First, learning to set clear, kind, but firm boundaries to protect your growth. And second, actively seeking out and nurturing connections with supportive people, friends, communities, maybe a coach or mentor who actually resonate with and encourage the person you're becoming. Your environment matters hugely.
Choose your circle wisely and protect your energy. Makes sense. Okay, one more obstacle. What if the resistance is coming from inside? Like our own subconscious fighting back?
Yes, that's what we often call subconscious backlash. Remember, the subconscious prioritizes safety and efficiency based on past programming. So even positive change can feel threatening initially because it's new and requires more energy than running the old, efficient programs. This backlash can show up as sudden self-doubt, anxiety, maybe even physical symptoms, or a strong urge to just ditch the whole thing and go back to what's familiar.
So it's like an internal self-sabotage mechanism kicking in.
Pretty much, yeah. It's trying to protect you in its own, sometimes outdated way. So how to navigate this? This is where working with someone can be really helpful, a therapist, a coach. Also, specific techniques can make a big difference. Things like EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping can help release the emotional charge behind the resistance. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is fantastic for identifying and challenging those resistant thought patterns directly. And neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, offers tools to reframe things quickly and communicate more effectively with your subconscious. These methods help soothe that internal resistance.
Okay, so there are tools specifically for that internal pushback too. That's reassuring. This has all been incredibly rich. For listeners who are feeling inspired now and want to go even deeper, what resources would you point them towards?
Great question. For digging deeper, there are some fantastic resources. If you like books, I definitely recommend Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He really bridges the science and practical meditation techniques beautifully. And a real classic kind of foundational text is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It's older, but the core insights on belief and harnessing your inner mind are still incredibly powerful.
Okay, Dispenza and Murphy. Good starting points. What about practices or other tools?
Well, beyond books, consistent meditation is huge. It helps quiet the conscious chatter and allows you to access those deeper subconscious layers more easily. Hypnotherapy with a qualified practitioner can offer very direct access for specific reprogramming work. We mentioned CBT and NLP, already both powerful therapeutic modalities. And don't forget the daily tools. Keep up the journaling, the visualization, the affirmations. Oh, and also consider body-based practices. Things like certain types of yoga or somatic experiencing therapies. They focus on releasing emotions and patterns that get stored physically in the body. That can be a really profound way to unlock subconscious stuff too. Lots of avenues to explore.
Wow, lots to explore indeed. This has been such an illuminating deep dive, really practical too. We've gone from understanding that startling 95% figure all the way through core principles, daily tools, the actual timeline, potential roadblocks, and now resources to go further. So just to kind of wrap it up, the big takeaway here is that this idea of subconscious reprogramming isn't just some abstract concept. It's a real, tangible way to fundamentally shift your outer reality. But it works by changing your inner world first. That phrase we started with, attracting better, it really does start right inside you. Hopefully the clarity and the tools we've discussed today feel empowering for you on that journey. And maybe as you go about the rest of your day today, here's a little thought to carry with you. Just notice one of your automatic reactions, or maybe a recurring thought or a feeling that keeps popping up. Just ask yourself gently, is this truly a conscious choice I'm making right now? Or is it maybe an echo, an old habit from an outdated subconscious program? And if it is, what tiny new choice could you make just today to start rewriting that one program.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope you feel informed, maybe a bit inspired, and ready to explore your own inner world.